So let's talk modelling first, but instead of tiptoeing around the details, let's get right to it. Modelling is the art of stealing from the best, breaking it down and making it yours. And no, it's not about copying. It's about finding what works, identifying what the hell makes it work, and then turning that into your own freaking superpower. The creative process. Think about that time when you were learning something new. Let's say it's drawing. Maybe you were sitting in front of a blank page and at first you had no clue how to even start. But then you watched someone sketch something. You saw how they held their pencil, how they used light and shadow, how they didn't hesitate. What did you do? You copied them. You mirrored their moves. At first it was awkward, but over time you started to make it yours. This is modelling in the purest form. You took something someone else was doing well, and you started chunking it down, taking smaller, digestible bits and making them work for you. But as you got more skilled, you began to chunk up. You took those small details, made them fit your identity, and suddenly you weren't just copying. You were creating your version. The power in this comes from one key thing: adaptation. You don't have to be an artist to paint. You just need to understand the strokes and apply them in your own way. The concept of chunking. Let's break down chunking, because this is where most people get stuck, and it's where real mastery happens. Chunking down. Imagine you're handed an overwhelming task. Say you have a huge project at work that you need to finish, but the list of tasks is so big that you don't even know where to start. You don't dive headfirst into that mountain of work. Instead, you break it down step by step first. What's the first thing that you can do? That's chunking down. You've taken a mammoth task and turned it into a bite-sized piece that you can chew. Chunking up. Now after a while, you finish a new task, and suddenly you're starting to see the big picture. You might realise the smaller tasks, they're leading to the main goal. And that goal, guess what? It's aligning with your bigger life's purpose. This is chunking up. You're zooming out. And instead of feeling like a worker bee in a hive, you feel like you're working towards something bigger. Value elicitation and pacing and leading. So what makes the magic happen? The core of it is understanding values. What's important to you? What gets you out of bed in the morning? Value elicitation. It's a fancy term, but all it means is asking questions to figure out what really drives you. Let's say your goal is to be more productive at work, but someone's holding you back. When you dig deeper, you might realise productivity for you isn't just about getting things done. It's about feeling like you're in control. That's your value. That's your core. Knowing this allows you to focus on actions that align with the value. So now, you're not just checking off to-do lists. You're putting in place systems that make you feel in control, like making decisions faster or managing your environment to suit your needs. Here's how to pace and lead. You find their value, then use that to lead them to change. If I'm coaching someone, I might pace them by saying, okay, I hear you. You want to be in control. You want to feel like you're on top of things. That makes sense. Then I'll lead them to new possibilities by saying, what would it look like if you could set up your day so everything on your to-do list has a place and a purpose? What would that bring you? Suddenly, I'm guiding them towards change. And we're doing it through something emotionally meaningful to them. Why this shit works. Let's talk science. Because we're not just doing this because it feels good. This is backed by brain science. When you model someone's successful behaviour, you're essentially activating your mirror neurons. These neurons fire when you watch someone else do something. Your brain doesn't know the difference between you doing it and them doing it. So when you model someone, your brain gets a direct upgrade, like a software update. Chunking helps, because your brain likes things to make sense. Breaking things down into smaller parts, your brain loves it. Ever felt like you can't move forward because the task feels too big? That's your brain telling you that it's too much. Once you chunk it down, it can focus, and the whole task feels more achievable. The fear of change, and how to smack it down. You know what else gets in the way? Fear. That little voice in your head saying, what if people think I'm weird? What if they think I'm a fraud? Get this straight, fuck that noise. We all have that voice. It's nonsense. Your brain is just trying to protect you from the discomfort of change. But here's the kicker. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to stay stuck. If you don't take risks, you'll never know what's on the other side of them. Here's the thing. What you're afraid of isn't even real. When you step into change and use the tools of modelling, chunking, pacing, you get to become the person who doesn't just react to life, you create it. You get to decide how things go. You get to model your way to success. Whether you're in a meeting, talking to clients, or simply managing your daily life, it's your choice. And if you don't choose, you'll just stay stagnant. Breaking the patterns that hold you back. We all get stuck in patterns. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's doubting yourself. Maybe it's feeling overwhelmed and paralysed by indecision. These are patterns that drain you, keep you small, and make you feel stuck. The key is interrupting these patterns. When you recognise you've been repeating an old pattern, you can break it by doing something unexpected. For example, when you feel overwhelmed by a task, instead of curling up into a ball and hiding, break the pattern, go for a walk, take a deep breath, come back with a fresh perspective. Suddenly you see the task for what it really is, manageable. This is chunking down. This is modelling behaviour that works. And this is how your brain breaks free from the chains that hold you back. So how can you use this to create powerful change? This is where it gets good. Imagine you're leading someone using everything that we just talked about. You've paced them by understanding their fears, their values, their goals. You've chunked their massive problem into something manageable, and now you're leading them to take action. You use their emotional significance, their values, and you link it to your desired outcome. For instance, if they value control, and their goal is to be more productive, you can guide them with a question that will lead them to see how taking specific actions would give them that control. In the process, you're not telling them what to do, you're giving them choice. You're opening up possibilities. You're making them aware that change is already inside them. It's just waiting to be unleashed. The new you, ready to make it happen. Now, when you use these techniques, modelling, chunking and pacing, you create a new reality for yourself. So stop being afraid. You start believing that you can handle it. Stop looking for permission from others, and you start creating your own path. When you apply these principles, you'll look back and you'll see how far that you've come, and you'll realise it was always in you.